Man, oh man. Man, oh man, oh man. I got things all screwed up. I try to do a I try to be proactive and create the live stream event, and I fumbled it. I got all messed up, and I don't understand what I did wrong. I was trying to make the to connect the two, and apparently I didn't connect them right. So I don't know what I did wrong. And I had another problem too. At a late time, my wife asked about getting pizza tonight. Hey Joseph, glad you're here. My wife asked about me picking up some pizza tonight, and so I was in the middle of this 65 65 Impala that I'm working on. Hey March, yes, thank you, I appreciate that. 40,000 is a great number, but hey James or Jamie, email is right here. There's the email. Anyway, so I was in the middle of pulling the seal out of the back of the Impala, and my wife sent me a message, said, hey, I'm hungry for pizza tonight. You want to get pizza? And I thought, well, no. But, you know, happy wife, happy life, right? So I decided, okay, I always get pizza for us from like Domino's, and I have our orders saved in the phone, and I figured I would just order this pizza and go pick it up and be ready to go. Well, that didn't work. For some reason, they were delayed. Normally, I don't have any trouble, but tonight, trouble. So I ended up having to sit there. And I actually thought about doing the live stream. Hey, thank you, Billy the Kid. Thank you, Andrew. I'll ring the bell for myself 40,000 times. Oh man. So here I was, I'm sitting there, and I almost went to my phone. I was going to do a quick live stream from my phone saying, here I sit at Domino's and I can't get my stuff. So anyway, sorry about the delay. You know, I really try to make sure this is on the money. Yeah, live stream at Domino's, that would have been good. And then I had preset the broadcast. You know, I don't know why I can't connect to my other setup. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what happened. So I'll have to delete that other one and rename this one so that it would, you know, work together. And I'm doing that right now, so making sure that's right. But man, I don't understand. Sometimes the best made plans tend to fall apart, and that's where this went. It went downhill really fast. So anyway, let me get my email turned on here, and then if anybody wants to sign on with the email, they can, and we can talk and chat and whatnot. So hey David Outdoors, yes, I got you by a few. But I don't know how long you've been making videos. I'm way behind on that scale, you know, because Sean, thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Thank you. You get a bell. Thank you very much. Yeah, David, I've been making videos for over 10 years. And there are some people that, yeah, hey gang. Yeah, you're right, Rick. There are some people who have 100,000 subscribers and they've only been doing it for a year. And I wonder, you know, maybe it's that I helped lay the groundwork, you know, for where YouTube is at today in some respects, you know, some not a lot, but I'm just saying in some respects. And now that the norms are kind of established, the other people are getting their channels up and running faster, and getting more. I don't know. But anyway, let's see. I'm trying to keep things organized here. Thank you, Gene. Appreciate that. Yeah. And Gene, if you were here when we were doing 5,000, I thank you for being along for the ride all this time. It's been interesting. Nobody, glad you're here. I know I should know that. I know I should have that name somewhere. I know you've told me that, but Ron, glad you're here. I'm trying to see if I get everybody on the Joseph, Marchendi. Yeah. And Scott from Old Crony's Garage. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate it. It's been really interesting. I think it was earlier this year that I hit 35,000. I don't remember the actual the date. I could probably pull it up, but yeah, it's nobody for a reason. Jeff, thank you very much. You know what? I don't even have coffee tonight. Here I am freaking out trying to get this pizza, and my mind is concerned. I schedule these things, and I want to get them on here, and be. I'm military. I'm ex-military, so time. I try to I stress out over time. Bad. I stress out. I mean, when I say 7 o'clock, I want 7 o'clock, and so I apologize for not being here at 7 o'clock, and I'm glad that people are still showing up and going to be along for the ride. Let's see. So yeah, Jeff, I didn't get to make my coffee, but I did go to earlier today. I went to Del Taco, and I got sweet tea. Well, not sweet. I do half sweet, half unsweet. So I'm gonna have some of that. So Leonard, wow, Leonard's been watching since 2013. I'll give you a bell for that, Leonard. That's awesome. That's a long time to be riding along on this. Glad you've been along for this. That's awesome. And Leonard, you've contributed a lot just to these live streams, and I appreciate that. Yeah, it's nobody for a reason. Yeah, David, it was nice to check in and see your live stream, and I liked your idea of I was on David's live stream. If you haven't seen David Outdoor 74, I went to his live stream he had the other night, and somehow he's done, he was scheduling his live streams days in advance, and I wanted to schedule that tonight, and I messed it up. So anyway, I'm gonna have to talk to him about that, make sure I get it right. I don't know what I did wrong. But I liked his idea, what he had, and of course he's learning how to do these live streams. I mean, I can't say that I'm an old pro at it by any means, but I have been, experimenting and learning as I go. But he had a laundry list that he had written down so that he had topics to talk about, which makes sense. But for me, I just kind of, whatever flies off the top of my head seems to work. And of course, having all of you along for the ride, asking questions and making comments and all that helps a ton. So that's great. Thank you, Ron. I appreciate that. What I've been experimenting, and like people mentioned before, making it more entertaining, making it different camera angles, speeding things up as much as I can. I try to eliminate, sections and parts, and that but that all takes time, and so that just works out. No, I just do the plain old Del Tacos. I've had the fresh avocado, but I just like the regular Del Tacos. And the reason I go to Del Taco, honestly, they had a grand opening. I think I mentioned this before. They had a grand opening of a Del Taco in my town. And if you show up there and you're in the first 100 people, you get 2 free Del Tacos for a year, every week for a year. So I went to this grand opening. It was on a cold day, I think in like November or December. Very cold day. Oh, hi, Brandon. Glad you're here. Very cold day in December, November, whatever. And there was, Thank you, 77 Smitty. Let me go back and check on that. Let me see if I can eliminate that stream. I'm just gonna have to delete that one. And wait a minute. Let me see if I can do this. I'm not sure. I got other people they've been liking it, which is, okay, but what can I do this? I'm a little flustered right now. I'll just have to delete that one. See what happens. And if they go back and they find out that it's not there, well, maybe they'll catch on to this other one. So we'll see. And anyway, but anyway, Del Taco's had 2, Del Tacos a week for a year. So I've been having Del Tacos every Monday or Tuesday, and getting a big sweet tea, and my wife usually gets something. And so I took advantage of that today. Let's see. Jack, okay, so 777, I got that. I think I deleted that other stream. Jack, thank you on the 40,000. I mean, it's been awesome. David saying, wonder if Del Taco's like Taco Bell here. It's actually a little different. To me, they have better choices. DMK 853, Fred Kuhlman is here. Hi, Fred. Anthony, thank you for the super sticker, man. I should say Guido. Thank you for the super sticker. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, Scott, you can buy I don't know if I don't think I have yoga pants with my name on them. Maybe I do. If you want to get some, go ahead. Go ahead. Hey, Matt, glad you're here. Jeff, I just deleted it because it was confusing. So I see it. We got 42 now here, and I need to get better on getting that set up right. But well, thank you, Guido. I do appreciate that. That's awesome. That's awesome. And I can't see what your super sticker is, but whatever it is, thank you for that. That's fantastic. Jorge, glad you're here. Thank you, Scott. And let me see here. Okay. Yeah, I had somebody else messaging me on the on my Facebook page about having people waiting. So again, trying to get all this squared away. Let's see. Gene is asking, Barry, did you ever do a video on a radio repair panel install? I thought I remember it in the Jade series, but couldn't find it. Actually, it's in I think I did that I did it in the Brooklyn Pony, and I also did it in the light blue Mustang. I have 2. I know I did at least one video. So if you go back to the light blue Mustang series, 65 baby blue car that I did back in 2000 something, 12, 13, I don't know what it was. There is I know I did a video or a radio repair on that, and then I know I did. I don't know if I showed it or not, but on the Brooklyn Pony, I had salvaged that dash. The original Brooklyn Pony dash was rusted through, and I salvaged the dash out of that coupe and put that in. And I know I had to do a repair on that, so it might be in there. I don't know for sure. The Jade Mustang, I did not do that. I don't think it needs it, so I don't know if I know I didn't do that on Jade, but check those other 2. Reese, thank you. Heath, 68 Mustang, thank you for that. Bob, thank you, appreciate it. Yes, Leonard. Yeah, I know I did at least one, so maybe there were 2 videos, and I'm checking my email to make sure if anybody wants to log in or get on the stream, they can. So Let's see. Old cronies. Yeah, Scott, you should give it a shot. Maybe you'll get some attention, working on cars. You might look good in yoga pants. I don't know. You might. Yeah, David, I need an outdoors hat. Well, you need a David outdoors hat for live streaming. Is what you really need. You need your own little deal. And speaking of the hats, I think I have 3 left. 3 black hats left. That's all I have. And as I said before, since I'm going to do a 40,000 subscriber giveaway, video. I mentioned that previously, and I know the first thing, wherever it's at here, I showed it before. I have that flag. That's going to be something I'll give away somewhere in here. Yeah. So, it's a flag that has a big old, regular size flag. It says Joe Daddy's Garage on it. It's my logo. So this will be the first prize, I guess I should say. And then what I might do, because to me it's a big deal. 40,000 subscribers, that's a big deal. So I think what I might do besides the hat, besides the flag. Oh, so Leonard, you want another one? Okay, that's cool. I might do it. I might give away a hat. I might give away. I think I have a couple beer koozies that I could give away, and some stickers and pens. So maybe I'll come up with something that maybe I'll do five items, maybe something like that, and maybe do that on my 40,000 giveaway video. Now that won't be. I can tell you this. Since everybody, a lot of people here, it doesn't look like I'll do a live stream this week. I said it before about doing the live streams on Wednesday and Thursday. And last week, I didn't plan one because we were supposed to go to the camper. My wife says we're going to the camper tomorrow. So we'll be there a couple, 3 days. And so that's going to take care of me doing a live stream, I guess. If I do one, maybe I can do one on Friday, if that works. We'll have to figure that out. So, Brian, yes, thank you for that. DMK 853, the right fender is about 1/4 inch higher than the cowl. Can I bring it down to meet the cowl? Let me tell you something. You probably can if you're willing. If you looked at the Brooklyn Pony videos, if you go to the fender install videos that I put on there, I have several different videos on the fenders. And one of the videos, I go into a lot of effort to reshape the fender or redesign. I don't know what the word is. Retool it, maybe. So if you go to look up in the Brooklyn Pony series, I actually drilled out spot welds on that, the right front fender, and had to reposition things and then trim off the lower lip so that the fender would come down and meet the cowl. So check out that video in the Brooklyn Pony series, and that might give you some help. Not an easy thing to do as far as drilling it out, but there's really not much choice, because that's what happens. That flange, the cowl is here, and then the drop down, the flange comes in, and the cowl has an under piece, that creates the trough or where the fender sits, and the fender has too much material, and so to bring that down, you have to shorten that leg to bring that fender down. Just be careful doing it, because you've got to make sure everything is working, like the cowl to the hood, fender, all that stuff. So make sure that's in line and doing the right thing. Arden Frey Jr., glad you're here. PS3, what's your favorite tool in your garage? Well, my default answer to that is the plasma cutter. the plasma cutter is just like the magic wand. I mean, it's pretty awesome. And whenever I need to make something really custom, I can whip out the plasma cutter and cut it up. Other than that, my welder, I love using my welder. And then when you break it down into smaller tools, it's really hard to point at one. I've got that belt sander. I really like it. That little Baxter belt sander that I bought from Harbor Freight. I like what that does and how it does it. But I mean, there's a whole variety of tools, but my default answer is a plasma cutter. So, let's see. Yeah, get out and enjoy. Yeah, that's the idea. To go out and try to have a little relaxation. Thank you, Harvey. Appreciate it. Dave, glad you're here. And let's see. I had an email from Jack W. Yesterday or today about getting together with him to film his 66 Fastback up in New Jersey. And so there may be some other cars involved with that process. We're trying to work that out. But I'm probably going to try to fly up to New Jersey and film that car, because I think it's kind of important to document that car based on what he's saying and what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing. It's not been taken apart, or I think as far as things go, I think he said the seats were taken out of it or something along those lines. But for the most part, it's a complete car that's not been apart. And I think it'd be fun to document that car to show exactly how it is, and go from there. Let's see. There was something else I wanted to talk about. Of course, 40,000 is the big thing, and along with that, let me see if I've got some. Nobody yet. Okay. Along with that, Jorge, I don't know where you are from Jack. How far you are from Jack? I don't know how close you are to either, and I don't know if I want to make just a day trip, like I fly up, drive around, film, and then fly back the same day. I don't know what the distance is between everybody up there, but I want to get something together, definitely. But I have some other, I don't know if I want to say news or other thoughts. Now, we all know with everything going on in the world, whether it's the COVID-19 or everything else that's creating issues and problems, whatever. I don't want to get too crazy with messing with that. Okay, so 777 Smitty had an issue. He's back. Yeah, thank you, Dave. Dale, thank you. Appreciate that. But I've said it before. I work for a major airline, and I've actually been there. So Jack, Bergen County is 40 minutes. That's not far. That's not far at all. I assume that's where Jorge lives. I don't know. But I've brought this up on many occasions that I would like to leave my job, my full-time job, and be doing all this in here as a full-time schedule. Between the two channels, I can make some money off of that. I can, with the growth and the numbers. Okay, Dave, that sounds awesome. With the growth and the numbers, it has a lot of potential. Now, there are some YouTubers that are making just ridiculous money, and I'm not one of them. But maybe someday I could get to that point. I don't know. It would be really awesome to get there. So anyway, I'm debating on taking an early retirement. I've been with my company 29 years, and they're offering a package. But my biggest concern, and this is a concern with anybody who's considering these sort of things, no matter what age, is biggest concern is healthcare. Because I'm 53, so I don't qualify for anything for quite some time. And so there's a big burden there trying to keep healthcare coverage, but it is really tempting. I've been talking to my wife about it, and of course she's responsible. She's more responsible in that aspect. The you know, she's going to step back from saying, "Yeah, let's go." She's going to be thinking about it and processing it, and not be as maybe as enthused as I am. But I'm really trying to make that decision, and I don't have a lot of time. I've only got about a month and a half to really make that decision. And if I can pull it off, I mean, I would love to be here, not have to go drive anywhere to work. And part of this comes into play. I talked about it in one of my, I think last week's live stream, Memorial Day, that a coworker was killed in a car crash. He's basically my age. I'm not saying the odds are in my favor of getting killed in a car crash, but it just made me realize and think about it at that point where I'm like, the window for life is small. You've got so much time right now, and if you look at the math, here I'm 53. I've got videos from people who are in their 70s building on these cars, and I expect that I'll continue doing this for quite some time. I don't plan on stopping, but I know that there's no reason for me that I would consider stopping what I'm doing. I'm sorry, I'm reading some of the stuff on the side while I'm talking, but there's just a lot to think about. But it's definitely a consideration. I think they're going to offer me, like, initially a couple years of healthcare coverage, which is awesome. But then after that, I have to take care of it myself. Now, if the channel keeps growing like it's doing, then the numbers may be enough that they can actually support this whole agenda. But I don't know just yet. But it's interesting to think about. It's I don't know. But again, biggest concern is healthcare costs. So, and I understand my wife's position. She's concerned about, if something happens to me, then how does she get supported, or how does she get, how can I continue supporting her or something, along those lines. But we'll see. It's it's really tough. It's really tough in today's environment to make those kind of decisions. But let's see what 777 says. I had issues of door making contact with rocker, couldn't adjust it out. Have you ever seen that? The only thing I could do was get a hammer to it. Ooh. Well, when you say door making contact with rocker, couldn't adjust it out, you're saying the door couldn't move? You couldn't move it outboard? Is that the issue, or is it couldn't raise it? There's multiple positions that you can play with on the door. And are you using brand new hinges? That's another big question, because the hinges, they're never right. I don't know what it is. They're just never right. And so a lot of people have to make the holes bigger for the hinges so that the door has somewhere to go. I've also had to, if it's an aftermarket door, that comes into play. I've had to enlarge the holes slightly so that the inner piece that the bolts go into can move slightly, just gain you a little bit of space. There's a lot of variables there, so we'll have to see, get some more information. We'll go from there. Yeah, Leonard. Yeah, benefits is the biggest thing. You're right. I'm not worried about the house payment, or I don't have any car payments. I don't have nothing like that. But there's things that add up. Whenever you start doing the big picture, you look at taxes, insurance, medical, life insurance, mortgage, phone bills, electric bills, gas bills, all those bills that you're going to pay regardless. And then you look at, entertainment or going out to eat. all those things have to have a category and add up as well. So it all has to line up really nice. So we'll see. Yeah, it is. That's very true, Joseph. That's the bulk of it. Now, the nice part is, I would get on or get a pension, but not a huge pension. But I would get a pension that would be consistent up until age 62, and then it drops down or whatever. So, I don't know. We'll have to see. But I'm gonna do the math. I am going to do the math. I'll tell you that. And that's another. We're talking about the channels. What's interesting to me is, I created that other channel, J Daddy's Workshop, and I have random stuff on there, but I've said it before. I have like 3 major videos on that channel. One is a review on my zero turn lawnmower. One is putting in the door threshold in the door out here in the garage, and the third one that's doing really well is installing the door handle, quick set door handle. And that channel, this is where it gets, again, kind of screwy. I've got 40,000 subscribers on this channel. I've got 1,500 on the other channel, and a lot of those overlap. I know that, but without getting into all the numbers and stuff, that channel is generating a third of my primary channel. It's actually generating a third of the dollar value with 1,500 subscribers. But I think it's those videos. I think somebody's embedded them somewhere or something, and they're really just feeding. So it's pretty amazing on that. Mark, if money gets too tight, you can always go back to work somewhere, I guess, with your skills. Yeah, well, that's true. I very well could. I've been offered, actually been offered positions over the years from resto shops and local body shops have been wanting me to. They're trying to talk me into come work for them, and I said, nope. I like being right here. David, you got to send me an email. I don't have your email saved. If you want to get on. Yeah, it is a huge leap. You're right, Dave. And the thing is, with today and the way things are going, the airline industry is struggling, and they're going to keep struggling for quite some time. The package they're offering will probably never be offered again. It's that nice of a package. And I don't want to go into all the details, but odds are that package won't come up again. And I know there's going to be situations where they either reduce headcount. There may be situations where they reduce wages, maybe where they reduce benefits. I don't know. But they've got to do something to keep themselves flying. So it may be that I don't see, I don't know. It's just, unless I would like to see those projections somewhere, so I have an idea of how these or this offer, balances out or whatever. But all right, so Smitty, you're saying up. Yeah, you may have to enlarge some holes on the hinges. I don't know what you're using. Joseph, you think you get sponsored by Eastwood or a welder maker company? I guess it's possible. I've never pursued that. I don't know what the options are, but it is possible. And who knows? I mean, I've had other offers from. I've got another thing going. Well, I guess I should say I've been maybe offered a position with another company, sort of, that's a YouTube footprint. I don't know. Kind of hard to explain. But I could probably still do what I'm doing here. But I may be offered a position where I could be involved with a much bigger program and almost be like I don't know what the term would be, like a spokesperson or interim type of thing where I would talk about cars. So I don't know yet. There is something possible there. Let's see. Of course, tools and cars, tools, and parts could potentially be write-offs. Yeah. Well, and depending on how this works out, the thing is, YouTube money is great, but I have to pay taxes and all that. Whatever I make, they don't take any taxes out. So that hits me at the end of the year, and I'm usually having to pay a big whatever penalty. I don't know. So you can write off certain things like tools, but cars, they won't let you, at least as far as my accountant says, you can't, I couldn't write off like buying a car or specific parts. Gene, health benefits are so important moving into the golden years. Yeah. I don't know where my golden years, when did they start? I don't know when that is. Max, have any tips for starting a Pro Touring style build on a 69 Ranchero? I feel like I could start by getting rid of the factory power assist steering. Thoughts? Well, that's a good question. Did you see the latest Viewers Project video that I posted? The video was by Robbie, who has a YouTube channel called Call of George. So there's links listed in that video. Should be in the first comment. I have a video link for a link to his channel. He's building a Pro Touring 68 Mustang, which I think is just going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. I see you, David. Hold on a minute. But yeah, I mean, when you say factory power assist steering, I would get rid of that anyway. I don't like that setup. I would go to regular power steering, like I did on Jade. I did a Borgeson conversion, put in the pump and the power steering box. But that's what I would do, because I just don't like the old setup. It doesn't seem that practical to me, but I guess it works. But then beyond that, you have to look at what you want to do as far as, suspension and all those other things that encompass a Pro Touring type of vehicle. So, but check out that video from Call of George and look at some of his stuff. He's got some great stuff going on at Mustang. Yeah, Dave, I need to sit down with a good accountant. Yeah, I know. And the hard part, for me, I don't know. I tend to just want to be out here in the garage doing things. I don't like being at those situations, but I guess I'm going to have to do that. Let's see. Whoop. Let me get the. I'm losing. I got to get back up here in the list somewhere. Yeah, MetaShare. I've heard of them, and I need to look into them and see if I can use their program. But I have not looked into it just yet. I was looking at various online quotes to see different numbers, but it can be pretty confusing when you start looking at all that stuff. Matt, have I heard of Rockwell Collins? No, I have not. Sorry. I did. I got your email, David, so I sent you a link. Gary, becoming self-employed is definitely a learning experience. Well, here's the thing, and I understand that because whenever in 2005 we had left the industry, me and my business partner had left the industry and started the body shop. So I kind of have some insight on it. Hi, David. I'll check into you in just a second. So I have some idea with that, and it can be pretty overwhelming. Let's see. Hey, Butch, glad you're here. More like brass years, yeah. Yep. Yeah, that car is pretty awesome. I have to admit. Yeah, I need to look into the brake setup because that's basically what I'm going to need. I think, unless there's some other option out there for the Brooklyn Pony. So we'll have to look into that for a minute. Yeah, he did a great job getting those pedals set up. You're right, Joseph. Let's see, Leonard. Ford Power steering system 71 down on Torinos and the Rancheros weren't the best. So Leonard would know. All right. Now I'm caught up on the chats, so I'm going to bring David from David Outdoor 74 on to the stream. And there he is. So we'll see if we can Let me know if you can hear him okay. I don't know how this, let me turn mine down a little bit.
Is my mic working or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Sounds like you're good.
All right. Thanks. Hopefully.
So how are things?
Good. Things are going real good. Back to work full time, so that's good.
Okay. And tell us again where you're located.
Upstate New York, like Syracuse area.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
That's nice.
I work for a local municipality. I've been there almost 22 years.
That's good.
So I'm the guy that mows the roadsides and plows your roads and ruins your cars with salt.
Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
So I know you've been doing videos. I heard you mentioning that you took your dozer apart because you were redoing it, something with painting the hood or something.
Yeah, back when this thing.
Well, hold on. Let me mention first, everybody. Yeah. David has a remote control 100-pound dozer that he uses to push around dirt in his yard. So it's pretty neat. So go ahead.
So during I built it. God, I built that thing about 6 years ago. My original build, and it was a smaller concept of it.
Yeah.
And I pushed snow with it during the wintertime. What happened is I'm just using that 50 chain, just like 50 size chain. I welded cleats onto it. What happened is it all just seized up. You know how wet, because that's bare metal basically, that chain is. And I didn't lubricate it. So what happened is it all seized up. I did the typical, I slid the dozer underneath the ground, like the desk, and I go, I'll deal with it later. And so when this issue, what's going on with today's society with the pandemic thing, it gave me some time off of work. I said, oh, let's try that again. So I tore it all apart, bought new chain, welded, knocked all those links off, re-welded them. And then I made it wider and gosh, probably another 20 pounds heavier. And I put a piece of, like C-channel, like that's, if you saw the video, it's a big piece of, it's a heavy piece of steel.
Yeah.
And last week I took it apart, the top part, and just kind of shored it up a little bit better. And I want to put a better hood on it and then paint it up, make it look nice.
So would it look more like a dozer then with the type of hood that's on a regular dozer? Yeah,
I've got to cut, right now if you're to look at it right now, it's just square. Yeah, I've got to cut the inside, it tapers in a little bit, like the cats do. They taper in, and then I'm going to have a hood on top with hinges. And I still got to figure out with the electronics, like that saber tooth that your controller there. I've got to put that. I might put that up in the wheelhouse of the dozer, so it's out of sight, out of mind.
How big is that? How big is that piece? The controller?
Was it like 4 or 5 inches wide by like 4 inches? Where's my camera here? It's about about your big. And then you've got your power that goes into that. That's your main speed control for your system. And then you've got to go into your for your remote control. You got that speed, the little, I don't know, not the alternator, but the new hickam there. I can't think. For the controlling of it. Okay. You got to get that part. So there's a bunch of things you got to get with that. They're smaller, and then you're good to go after that.
Well, too bad you couldn't build like a miniature guy that would sit have a seat and have the controls inside of him, to make it look like there's a little guy out there. That would be kind of neat.
I could actually do that in the cab part. I could cut it out and then put a seat in there. That'd be something to do. Right now, if you've seen it, it's a little squarish and a little bit. It's not as pretty. It looks pretty cool from a distance. If you really get up, it's got its imperfections, I guess you would say, but it's cool.
Yeah, it is. I hear my compressor starting to make noise, so I think I'm going to have to go shut it off to make sure it doesn't kick on, because it normally does. So.
Loud and clear. Oh, great. Hey guys, how you doing?
Just being proactive on that one, because I know it'll kick on.
Well, that was like when I was on last time and the dog started barking. That was
yeah. Let me go back to a couple of these. Bob Shoemaker is saying, pretty fun in the retirement scene, create your own schedule. Matt has a good suggestion. Can you use the VA for your health care? That's a possibility. I have to look into that a little bit more.
Yeah,
If that can
you
work
can,
out.
can't do that VA.
What's that?
You can with a VA, right? When you go to the
I think to a percentage I can. I'm not retired from the military, so I think it's very limited in that respect. But
hey,
I
well,
need to do more research.
thank you for your service. I appreciate that.
Well,
I don't care what you did in the military. I appreciate everything you've done. So
thank you.
and all my veterans out there, and active and non-active, I always like to say thank you to anytime I can. I don't want to drag it out too much, but I how do you not, right? Because it's for guys like you for doing that is why I can be here talking
Sure.
like this. So,
well, thank you. Michelangelo, thank you for doing that one video with the Mini Cooper. I was able to fix my brakes with my daddy's help. Awesome. Good deal. That's why I like to do stuff like that. Show people that you can do it without having to take it somewhere, and pay somebody to make that happen.
and you're the guy, man. You're pretty informational, Barry. I'll tell you that. You're on top of things.
I try to be. Let's see, what is Joseph saying? I'm really thinking about selling my new Honda Accord and buying a 91 to 93 5.0 Mustang. You guys think I'll regret not having a new car? I just miss tinkering.
Yeah.
I can't really say because I have new and old. I have, a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not limited by having one car. So I can see the appeal, though. I know the appeal of the new, pretty new Accord. I can appreciate that because I really like the comfort and, turnkey. Like Max is saying, having a modern car is great when it counts. Yes.
For cruising.
Yes. So, but I've not messed too much with that generation of Mustangs. But I mean, it's your decision. That's all I can say. That's your decision.
The 88s, I love the 88 Mustang GTs. Those are pretty sharp. They were boxy, but man, they were snappy. 302s on them. Woo.
Yep.
They were fast.
Yep. Yeah, and it doesn't take much to make those fast.
And you can do, with those 5.0s, you could do so much to them. They had so many aftermarket parts for them. Like with the F body that I had, the 3rd gen, it's so hard to do so much to it. There's like no room to put anything. Where like the Mustangs, the 88s, 89s. My brother had the 88 GT, and that thing you put any kind of header on it, any kind of supercharger. There was so much you could do to the Fords. And with my formula, it's just like this is all you can do with it without really changing a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I've not dealt with those. I think the only thing I came close to for that generation was I had an 80, gosh, what was it? 83, 84 Capri. I had a Mercury Capri, which is just a Mustang.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
But it was a 6-cylinder car. So, but I just drove it as a commuter. That's all it was until I moved on to the next whatever car I had.
I had those. Remember those Mustangs, the 4-cylinders, basically the Capri, the LX. It was like a little 4-speed, I think it was 4-cylinder.
Well, they had the Mustang too, which was just really a fancy Pinto.
Right.
74. They had, 72, I think they come out with the first Pinto. 71, maybe 71. I don't remember. Somewhere around that period, they had the first Pinto. I know Leonard has the answer to that. But they came out with the first Pinto about that time. And then, 74, they took the Mustang and did a shrinky dink on it and made it a little tiny Mustang. But it was just based on the same chassis as the.
Yes, I know. Yes, my brother-in-law had one of those. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yep. They were not.
Sorry. Then they changed it, made them a little bit more cosmetically appealing, and then they started putting V8s in them, but they were so restricted, with emissions and all that stuff. So you might have had a V8 with 130 horsepower, maybe, and then they also threw out the different names. They had the Cobra and the Shelby, and which there's a market for those. There are people that look for those and want those, and I understand that. it's like you're, you know, I was 16 in 84, I guess. No, 83. 16 and 83. So when I was 16, 80, whatever car was popular in 83 was a car I was more connected to, you know. So people who were 16, 17, 18 when they were in the early mid 70s, they connected to those cars. And so that's kind of how you get those people that, you know, focus on those generational things.
Well, 82 was the big transformation, wasn't it? To like the smaller, the pony size. They dropped everything in size, didn't they? From 81 to 82, like the Camaros, the Firebirds, the
Camaros. Yeah, the Camaros. 81 was the last long nose standard looking Camaro that was made from 70, like 70 to 81. I think was that generation. Then 82, they went to the pointy thing. You know, the 82 to whatever year that went.
That was I think it was 82 to 92.
Something like that. Yeah, I kind of lost interest in those at that time. I just didn't like them.
Well, you come from the Muscle family, like back when they made Muscle.
Well, yeah. And the you know, the Mustangs, you know, they transitioned. I forget what year I think Leonard commented here. So he's saying last year the Fox Party Mustang with some mods were awesome. So he's talking about the ones you're referring to.
But
I don't know what year they went away from like the Mustang 2, 79, 80, about the same time, probably close to the same time as the Camaro and the Firebird, of course. It became the Night Rider.
82.
I actually have a friend who has a Night Rider clone. He either bought it or built one. And so he has it with it's got this little steering wheel. It's got all the stuff inside the dash. It's got the little light that goes back and forth. So, you know,
but a tough time putting my suspension on, let alone putting all that gadget stuff they put on the Night Rider.
They had plenty of gadget stuff. It was really kind of, it was interesting. You know, that TV show was so, it was funny.
The Hoff, yes.
Yeah, the Hoff, yeah.
Next round up big.
Okay, so Leonard, I knew he would have the answer. 71 for the Pinto. If you're lucky enough to find a 69.5 Maverick with the 3 on the tree, you've got something. 69.5 Maverick. Okay. So that's your research. Everybody has to go out and look for a 69.5 Maverick with 3 on the tree.
My grandmother, listen to this. My grandmother, she passed away a few years back, had a Maverick. I don't know if it was, I think it might have been the 69. I don't know if it's 69.5, but I remember it was white and green, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
and
they were
had like 30,000 miles on it. I have no idea what happened to it, but back then we're like, oh God, what is that ugly thing? But that thing is very valuable.
Yeah.
I wish we would have kept it.
Yeah. I mean, I think I know we had Mavericks up at the junkyard, and of course Comets. Yeah, the Maverick and the Mercury Comet was at that point, they were the same car, you know, followed a path. So I think what Leonard's implying, a Maverick with a 3 on the tree would be pretty rare.
Oh, I got it. Yeah, I don't know if she could have, because she's an older lady. I doubt she'd have it on the floor.
Well, but the thing is, you know, they didn't offer that. It was still, that is an odd combination. And he's right, you know, because even up into the 70s, now, I don't know about the I know in the 69, 71, and 2, like the Chevy trucks, you could have a 3-speed on the column.
Yep.
But I don't know if they continued that in 74. I don't know if that went on, if they went to a 3-speed on the floor versus a 4-speed. I don't know. I haven't kept up with that, but I know that the 70, you know, up to 72, I know you could have a 3-speed on the column. Gene, those 80s cars are next round of big money muscle cars. We're getting close to retirement and we'll be looking for them. You know, you're right about that. I'll give you a bell for that, because a lot of those cars just got crushed.
Yeah.
Nobody cared. And you know, they had their place in the muscle car history. But the thing is, you could build a killer small block and put in one of those cars and have some great handling, decent brakes. So you're right. There's potential for them to be becoming more valuable.
You put them fat tires on them, man. I had the Eagle the Eagle GTs on my Formula. It gripped. When it was running, it gripped.
Joseph saying the Mustang 2 last year was 78. So the 79, yes, right, the 79 Mustang, Fox body style, whatever. That was when they changed over. That's right.
What was it, the LX or the Lynx they came out with? Is that what it was?
Oh, yeah, the Mercury Lynx.
That was like the equivalent of the Mustang, right?
I don't remember. I think the Lynx was the Lynx was the sister to the Escort.
Okay, I'm off on that. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm thinking there was the LX Mustang. That's what I was thinking. That was early. Yeah. That was 80, right? 1980.
Well, 79 they come out with the first new Mustang, and then from there they added on different versions of it. So, Guido, what's up in Georgia? You guys in curfew 6 to 6 here in LA, SoCal? Yeah, there's some sort of curfew going on. I know in our little town, we have a Walmart and whatever, and I think they shut down at like 5 o'clock, trying to keep people from shopping.
I'm doing the best by turning my TV off on that. I will not say much on that. I'm sorry, but I won't.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's all crazy. So,
I don't know right or wrong on that, so I got to stay out of that.
Fairway, glad you're here. So Leonard is in. Oh, he can come in. It's not going to bother me.
That's my oldest. He just got back from work.
Okay. So
he goes to
Leonard,
Brockport College.
What's that?
He goes to State Brockport up near Rochester, New York.
Okay, cool.
He works at the hardware store.
Hey, that works.
Your store helps him out with all his outdoor projects.
Yeah, you got to have help. We'll see you. So Leonard is saying the 69.5 is when they brought out the Maverick. Okay. And then if you're looking for it, the 69 had the ignition switch on the dashboard. Good point, Leonard. Very good point. That would be interesting to see one of those. Yeah, Dave, Lynx was the Escort. Yep.
Okay. I'd had one of those.
Yeah.
I think Lynx, I had all those cars.
The Lynx come out in 1980. Now, 777 Smitty, he loved the 80s SS Monte Carlo. I would agree with that. I'll give you a belt.
They had 305s in those, right? In the 80s,
yeah, they all came to 305. 79 was the last year that my understanding, I've mentioned this before. 78. I want a 78 Malibu that was a 350 4-speed car. You talk about a rare car. That's a rare car too. So, and then they had versions, and that was it. Last year you could get a 350 engine, and it was the first year for that body design. So it's kind of a crossover. In 78 you can get a 350 automatic or whatever, order however you wanted. The next year 305.
They were throwing those 305s and everything.
Yeah, and it should have just thrown them in the dumpster.
Yeah, they put them in those ugly looking Impalas, the more newer ones, and yeah, they threw them everywhere. And the back cylinder, was it the number 8 or number 7 was the one that had a lot of blow by on them?
Yeah, I don't remember. They had so many problems, Yeah. But I had a 307 in one of my 72 Chevy trucks. You couldn't kill it. You couldn't kill it.
Isn't a 307 a Pontiac motor or no?
No, it was a Chevy engine. Was it? Yeah, 307. Well, you couldn't kill the thing.
There's a Chevy engine in my Pontiac.
Yeah, they did a lot of that. Yep. So Mark's saying square body Chevys were going to cash for clunkers not too long ago, and now they're the second highest rising value vehicle behind the old Broncos. Yep.
Really?
I've had I think 4 78, 79, 80, 81 Malibus over the years. And I'm still always looking for another one. Faraway is doing a respray on a 66 Mustang Fastback going candy apple red. So if you haven't checked out, he has a channel as well. So if you want to check out Faraway, however you want to say it, check out his channel. And Gene is checking out. He's got things to do that are more important. See you, Gene. Let's see. Oh, here you go. Joseph saw Grand National a couple weeks ago. Talked to him. Yeah. Yeah, Grand Nationals. And then you take the step of the Grand Nationals, you start leaning towards the Typhoon, and the, what's the other one? I can't think of the other one. You had two of them.
Typhoon and Cyclone.
Cyclone. That's right.
Yep.
And those are getting rare. And, well, I haven't seen one in years. Can't tell you the last time I saw a Cyclone.
I saw a Cyclone 2 summers ago around here.
Yeah.
Yep.
So those are extremely rare.
I had a Cyclone whoop my butt with my 82 6-cylinder Camaro.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen, I pulled up to the light and it was a husband and wife and she was driving and I looked at her and the only reason we were side by side is because she was spinning and then it caught and it was gone.
Yeah, those were extremely well engineered, in my opinion, for that time period.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Very well engineered for that time period. Yep. Let's see. Dave Conville, the 4-speed Malibus are big in the Middle East. Believe it or not, taxi cabs, station wagons, etc.
Oh, good.
Hot Rod did an article on it once. Yeah, they're hard to find. I've seen one. I have a friend of mine who has, I think it's got to be an 80 or 81 Malibu station wagon that is a 4-speed car. So it's a 4-door station wagon with a 4-speed in it. But to me, the combination I want is the 78. I want the first year with a 350 and a 4-speed. And I don't know why. I don't know. I probably would. I couldn't mod it. I wouldn't want to, customize it. It'd have to be something I'd have to try to keep original. Look at this. Joseph saying, he said a guy died that was a dentist and his wife sold it to him. It was in his garage under a cover for 15 years.
That's a nice buy.
Well, there was, I follow, who was it? Well, you've heard of the Tucker probably. I assume Tucker car.
Yeah, there was a movie called Tucker, wasn't there?
There was a movie called Tucker.
Yep.
And I follow a gentleman, I think it's Sean Tucker, on Instagram. And he went through and rebuilt one of the original Tucker cars because it was his grandfather who started the company or something along those lines.
Was it 50s or no? What year was that?
It was in the 50s. It was in the 50s, late 40s, early 50s, and the car actually had a helicopter engine in it, so it had a flat 4-cylinder. I think maybe it was a 6-cylinder helicopter engine in the trunk. Very, very unique car. Very unique.
Yeah.
But anyway, nonetheless, I follow this gentleman, Sean Tucker, I believe it is, on Instagram. And he made a post the other day. And he said he was just driving around the neighborhood. And he said he saw this. And he had a picture of it. And it was an original Superbird.
Oh.
And it was sitting there. And the car was, I think, orange. But all the nose looked like it was kind of, I know it's got a weird nose, but it was like rusty, and there was some rust on the hood or something, and so he stopped and went to talk to the guy, and it was some old man in his 70s, and he said, "Let me show you around my shop." Well, here's this Superbird or Daytona, whatever, that it was taken apart to get repainted. I think he said 40 years ago, and it was just taken apart and left. And so he was putting it back together to get it repainted. Well, then he says, "Here, look at this." And he went over to the to inside the shop, and he had a picture of a 67. Now he said it was a Dodge Coronet, but it wasn't a Coronet. It was a Plymouth Belvedere. I know the difference. So I don't know why he got Coronet, because it says
there's a huge difference with Coronet.
Yeah, the Coronet has a bulkier quarter on it.
Yep.
The Belvedere and Satellite has smooth body lines all the way back. But I know it was a Belvedere and probably a GTX. It had a 426 Hemi in it with a 4-speed, that was it was sitting there covered in dust, and it only had like 20,000 miles on it or something.
Oh my God.
And then on the lift was a brand new Grand National GNX, brand new car. It only had 600 miles on it.
Just sitting there.
600 miles. And it was sitting up on the lift. And the guy said, yeah, we did, he would just buy these cars and just park them,
Oh my God. That's the worst thing for them.
What's that?
That's the worst thing for all the gaskets and all that.
Well, yeah, true. But he said, but while he was there, the guy fired up the Hemi car.
Oh.
So apparently he keeps it running. But he just, yeah, here, check it out. Boom.
Oh my God, it must have sounded beautiful.
Yeah. Let's see. Max, is a Mustang 2 style front end conversion worth it? I've been debating doing that over making the factory style suspension with corrected geometry. Big price bump for Mustang 2. I'm going to say that's debatable because it depends on what you're doing. You can add disc brakes to your car. You can do the Shelby drop and improve the handling a little bit. Mustang 2, it may help stiffen things up a little bit because the frame rails on the car, as they are independent besides the front piece and that connects where the core support goes, and then it has a bolt-on cross member underneath the engine. Whereas the Mustang 2, everything's welded. You got to weld everything together and create this heavy box system, much like I did on the Brooklyn Pony. But it depends on what you're looking for drivability. If you're going to be out, some people would like to do road course stuff. So it depends on what you're looking for. They do make, and I'm interested in these other kits where it is the coilover suspension. So instead of having the standard control arms, it's an updated version to where it has a hollow upper control arm with a coilover that goes to the shock tower. And then it's got some indexing up on top, some special bracketry and stuff like that you add in. So I know, and they're not cheap. I will say that. I know that setup is not a cheap thing to do.
$1,000 to put it in the formula right now. I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
To put the coil over. I got the A arms and the K member already in, and I'm just waiting on $1,000 to put in. That's not even doing any motor work.
Yeah, it adds up quick. So, for money wise, it's probably cheaper just to do the Shelby drop, add disc brakes, put better shocks on it. Sway bar. Sway bar is a big thing. Add a sway bar to it if it doesn't have one. Dave, 1948 for the year for Tucker. Yes. And they had the Franklin helicopter engine and a Cord transmission. Tuckers were ahead of their time. Only 2 left from what I understand. No, there's actually quite a few left. They destroyed 1 or 2 in testing, and I think there's quite a few left. I don't know what the exact number is, but there's like I said, they only made like 50, but I know there's still quite a few of those 50 still remaining from what I understand. Yeah, Capri was the Mercury version of the Mustang. You are correct. 777 Smitty back in the day, he had a 67 Coronet, sold it for $800. Yeah. Yeah.
Barry, check this out. Right, literally probably 1,000 yards from my house in a barn, there's a 1969 Dodge Coronet with a 440. Disc brakes. Front end got wrecked up back in the 80s. It's been sitting there. Also, there's 2 55 retractable hardtops Ford sitting in there. And then the guy up the road.
The retractables?
Yeah. Just sitting there rotting. Kills me. I'm best friends with my neighbor up the road here. That's literally a stone's throw. He's almost 80 years old. He worked at Lockheed Martin. He's one of those, he's so smart. He had the car basically built, the Coronet, and he parked everything out there and it's sitting there. It's just painstaking to know it's there.
Yeah. Oh, I know how it is.
I was a kid. I used to play in the Coronet. It sat there when I was a kid. And I used to play in the car, and it's still sitting there.
All right, Guido is pointing out a Roth IRA. Yeah, I need to. We were talking about the retirement idea earlier. I do have a Roth IRA established. So, but I don't know how, again, the bulk of any of that works. All I know is I put money in a 401k, and then the company puts the money in a 401k, and then the numbers grow. I'm not real good at doing understanding all the investing things, but Total Control makes that. Yeah, that coilover setup. Thank you, Jorge. Whoops. There you go. Clean bell. Yes, Leonard. The Capri was originally a German Ford. We had some of those at the junkyard. Those were nice looking little cars. I will say that. I don't know if you've ever seen one.
I've never seen those.
But they were, they had a long front end, and then they had a short coupe style back end, but the body was more rounded on the sides, and it was a cool looking little car. There's a guy that I follow on. He's an illustrator over in Europe, and he frequently posts pictures of those. He draws out those Capris, so he frequently draws pictures of those. Pretty cool looking little car. Gary is saying that's the type of kit he's doing, so he's doing that Total Control kit. Yeah. Scott saying he can find all kinds of square bodies. Yeah, square bodies are still, there's a lot of square body Chevys out there. Goodmunder, 48 or 49 Tuckers still left of 50 made. Yeah, they didn't just get trashed. A lot of them, some are in museums, some are in private hands. But Sean Tucker what's really cool is this guy, Sean Tucker. He has access to files and documents and tooling and all kinds of things that were from his family. And recently, I think there's a store that he has set up as well through his Instagram. He's replicating these tool tags. So apparently they had a little brass tag that said Tucker tool or something on it, and then it had a number. So he's replicated those, but the original only had the stamping on one side. He's making them with the stamping on both sides, so you can't say that it's an original tag. Anybody who knows will know it only has it on one side. But he has gone to the extreme, like this Tucker that he restored. Like the material that was in the door panels or in the dash, he spared no expense. He replicated every single thing on that car to be exactly as it was when it was produced. When I was just amazed. There were little collars that went on the knobs and stuff on the dash that were made out of a special type of plastic or something. He figured out how to make those.
Wow.
And it was just amazing what he did. But another cool thing too, he had access to some drawings for cars that his grandfather or whatever wanted to build. And one of them was like a little roadster. And so I think he's trying to build that roadster and per the drawing. So really, really kind of neat. Kind of neat to see all that stuff. Let's see.
Ranchero.
Okay, so Joseph, Mustang 2 suspension seems so heavy. Well, it probably is because it's more structural. It's just more solid than the original setup. So I would agree with you. It's going to be heavy.
All the welding.
What's that?
All the welding.
Yeah. Leonard, Ford is talking about bringing back the Ranchero. Okay. Is it going to be like a Mustang Ranchero? Because they're building a Mustang SUV.
When are they going to bring back the Chevelle?
Yeah.
It's killing me.
There's been renderings of that all over the internet, and that'll never happen.
Chip Foose did that little car, he made it kind of look like the realistic one, and I just don't understand if they brought that back and redid the Chevelle, the billions of dollars. But
here's the thing with that thought in mind. Chevy GM has the Camaro.
Right.
That's their flagship. Well, I mean, the Corvette is the sports car, but the utility sports car is a Camaro. But look at Dodge. They've got the Challenger, they've got the Charger, so they have a 2-door and a 4-door type of thing like that. And then the variations of those. I'm with you. Why not build a Chevelle similar to the platform of the Charger?
Oh,
the Charger.
Yeah.
Go bigger.
Yeah.
Because it was a bigger car than a Camaro. Why not? And you could even, I hate to say this, you could do a 4-door version just like they did with the Charger. You could do that because now they can style them to where it looks decent.
I'm a Chevy fan, but I'm a everything fan, really.
I'm a car guy. Period.
Yeah, all right. What Dodge has done with their Chargers and Challengers is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, the motor, the horsepower. Chevy's just, in my book, I love my Chevys, but they're falling back.
Yeah, they're scary stuff.
Yeah.
How much power they get out of those. Max, Capri before the Fox platform was great. Yes, I agree. I mean, I actually drove one of those. One of those Capris in my dad's junkyard. It was red with black interior, little 4-speed. It was a cool little car. And they're not, you don't see them ever. Wait a minute. Gotta get caught up. So Bob's saying he had a 73 Capri V6. Yeah. Those would scoot for, a little lightweight car with a V6. Yeah. Guido. Let's see, Matt. Unisteer sucks. I have the power rack. Lame radius. So the Unisteer, okay. So he had the power rack and pinion to his fastback. Joseph, Ford announced here recently they're going to make a 2020 Mach 1.
Perfect.
2021 Mach 1. Well, yeah, as long as it's not electric. Which I'm not against, honestly. Go ahead and build an electric version, but build a gas-powered version and throw away the SUV thing. Just no.
The world of SUVs.
The Mustang E, whatever. No. Don't put the Mustang name on an SUV. That's an insult. Do not do that.
These companies seem to do that quite often with that stuff.
Yeah. And I can't believe people are going, oh, that's great. It's a Mustang. No. It's a box with a Mustang name on it.
Yeah. That's look at the Chevy Blazers. They're like S10 size Blazers, and they say Blazer. I go, back in the day, a Blazer was 4-door, half-ton.
Well, that was the Suburbans were 4-doors, but the Blazer was a 2-door. So you're right. They did have the full-size Blazer, and then they had the S10 Blazer. So it was just copying the name.
Right.
But at least it was still in that family. Where it was
you're taking a muscle car
truck style thing, not taking a car name and plugging it onto a SUV. Just wrong.
You don't do
just
that.
Wrong. Let's see. Let me back up a second here. Max, I had a friend that had one with a fairing and the V6 5-speed. So that's Leonard. Dave, last year I had the privilege of seeing the Tucker exhibit at AAC in Hershey. Had the original plans, tooling, prototype parts, and a number of complete cars. It was amazing. Yes, I want to see a Tucker in person. I do, and one day I will. Max, there was rancheros that were sold as utes in Australia. So I don't know what year you're referring to. I don't know if they still sell those over there in Australia or not. I do. They were referred to as utes instead of trucks, whatever. But I don't know if when they stopped doing that or if they came up with another version, because Australia seems to break the rules. You have the cars that are built in America, and then all of a sudden you look and there's another Australian vehicle that has some crazy number and name to it, and you say, well, that's not a Ford or that's not a Chevy, but it is. It's under the Holden name, so it gets really confusing. Some of the stuff they have over there. Leonard, if it looks anything like the Courier, they can keep it. Gary, they won't sell just like the Chevy SS and Pontiac G8. Yeah, the Chevy SS was a bust. They had a great idea, but they didn't incorporate it right. They should have made it more like, in my opinion, more like a truck than a pseudo truck. You know, it's kind of like, well, in that time period, they were coming out with like Dodge or Chrysler come out with the Prowler, you know, which was just an insult. It looks cool, but it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely terrible. And then they had the what's the other one? The Cobra Challenger car, whatever it was. I can't think of the name of it at the moment. I don't even know if they make them anymore. I guess they still make them. I don't even know. You know what I'm talking about? The true race car that he built. That was,
Yep.
I can't remember that. Somebody will come up with it. But they were, and then they had the
the GT. No, not GT40.
No.
Oh, no.
Then they had the other variations. They had, you know, and they were collaborating with Mitsubishi, but they were experimenting with bringing out these soft sports car versions. I don't know, like the S, you know, like you're saying, the Chevy SS and the just didn't make any sense. But I guess they felt like they could sell anything if they wanted to.
Well, look at was it the 2000, the GTO they brought back, and was it 2099? I think it was.
Yeah,
2000?
That's what he's saying. The Pontiac G8 is basically similar, or you know, and it was weird because they based it on like the not the Lumina. What was after the Lumina?
Corsica, no.
Well, they had the Monte Carlo body that they made all smooth, and then they put the V8 version in, which became the Pontiac version. They didn't even have you know, they really kind of, and that was basically, that was an Australian car. That was the Holden that they turned into the Pontiac G8. So really got, you know, kind of confusing with all that. Let's see. I'm getting backed up on people here.
Yep.
Yeah, 777. Say the Mustang 2 is a little to no heavier than the stock old shock towers, and springs are very heavy. That's true, because you're eliminating the shock towers with the Mustang 2 suspension. I didn't think about that. DMK, I think the new Challenger looks better than the old one. I think it looks almost the same as the old one. They did a great job with that thing. I can't argue with that. BK Woods, just checked out Sean Tucker's Instagram. Wow, he's doing it right. Yep. And that is BK Woods. That's Paul. Yeah, you're right, Paul. Go check out Sean Tucker's Instagram. Mach 1 is supposed to have the Coyote 12-to-1 compression motor. I will say the Mustang SUV is fast. Well, I'm sure that the SUV is fast, but don't put the Mustang name on it. I just can't. Call it something else. Yep, I agree with you, Scott. Not a Mustang. Leonard, yeah, I saw him on. Brendan showed one on his channel, and the one with the V8. They're from what the ad says. It's going to have a. Don't hold me to it, but it sounds like a 7.3 V8. Wow, that's a lot of motor for a Ranchero. They weren't officially manufactured, but they were built off the Falcon until 2016. Had Coyote V8, some supercharged, a 4.0 turbo inline six. And see, that's what I'm talking about. You know, here he's using the term Falcon.
I was gonna say, what's a Falcon?
Well, it's Australian. They kept the Falcon name going. You know, we lost the Falcon in 70.
Yeah, I remember the Ford Falcon. Yes, I remember
somewhere in that time period. We lost it. Maybe in '69. I don't remember. But yeah, we lost the Falcon name over here. Yeah, there we go. So. Joseph, I'm not for the Mustang Mach-E, but it's not even close to an Expedition. That's true. Phil Miller, Viper. He gets it right. That was the word the name I was looking for.
Oh yeah. Those things were fast.
Yeah. And I don't know if they still make those or not. I don't think I've seen a new version.
My buddy had two of them.
Oh really?
Yeah, they had V10s in them. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. The Prowler was not a good looking car. I mean, it was interesting. It followed the body lines of some sort of,
Scientific thing.
well, it was like a roadster from you took a Model A, like a
Right.
30 Model A, and turned it into the roadster version where you took the roof off, and and some people you could channel the nose together. So it kind of mimicked that design, but yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't made for power, right? It wasn't a supercharged.
No, it was a 6-cylinder.
Yeah.
Yeah. And apparently they handle horribly. From what I've heard, not good handling cars. Gary, you were talking about the Chevy SSR. Okay, you're talking about I'm talking about the newer 4-door rear-wheel drive cars. Okay. Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, the SSR. That was the thing. It was like a pickup truck that was not
drive, I think it was too.
Not well executed. I think they also came out with around that same time the little HHR. Yeah,
Oh, that yellow thing.
Like the PT Cruiser had the little station wagon, and Chevy. No, I like the HHR actually. I think that's a cool little vehicle because of what it is. It's designed to be a little utility vehicle or small SUV. But the SSR
rounded it.
What's that?
They took the S10 and rounded it.
Sort of. I saw one in a junkyard that was built it was a purpose-built utility vehicle, like built for contractors. And I just was looking. I forget what I was looking for, seats or something for a project. And I opened up, and it had the doors on the back, and had the side, the 4 doors, whatever, and then it had, I don't know if it has a hatch. I think it has doors on the back as well. But regardless, it was flat all the way up to the back of the front seats. And I started looking, and there are compartments built into the floor with locking handles, and it had doors that would open up, kind of like a tool. The toolbox in the bed of your truck would have the doors that would open up. And I was looking around, and I opened up these 2 doors, and they were deep, like a big cooler size chest in there. Well, apparently, usually when the car goes into a junkyard, they search it. They go through it. They look for anything that could be money or tools or equipment or cameras, whatever. Apparently, nobody looked in this car in those areas. And I opened those up, and they were full of air conditioning equipment tools. So it was an AC operator truck, and it had, it had gauges. It had all kinds of electronic stuff. And I was turning them on, and they all worked. Everything came on. And so I filled up my arms with all this stuff. And I went up to the guys up front. I said, and in fact, it had, there were 2 packs of boring bits that were unopened. There was, literally, it was enough to fill up both my arms with all this junk that I had found. Anyway, I took it up to the front, and I said, "How much you want for this stuff?" I found it in this, told him what it was. He looked at it, and he was like, "I don't know, $20." I said, "Okay." Threw him $20. I came home, called up the guy that I know that does AC, and I said, "Hey, I have all this stuff here. I don't really know what it's worth, but if you're interested in it, come by and take a look." And he came by and he looked at it, and he was like, "Yeah." He said, "I'll give you $200 for all of it." I said,
"Sold."
"Okay, take it." I don't even know how to use it, but it was just one of those things where I knew enough sense that I should, pick that stuff up. So, let's see. I got to find out where I'm at on the list. It scrolls past me.
Reese Richard.
Wait a minute. Yeah, Heath Mustang. Check out Tucker, the Man in His Dream. Jeff Bridges, cool. Yep. In fact, they used bullet nose Studebakers to replace the Tuckers. So,
yep.
Yeah, if you actually watch I've seen a YouTube highlight type thing, and where they crash the Tucker and roll it, it's actually a bullet nose Studebaker. Let's see. Quebec Homestead. Hey there,
Oh,
Judy
Mallory.
Garage and David Outdoors.
Hey, Mallory.
So checking
Check
in.
out her channel.
What's that?
Check out her channel. Mallory's pretty cool.
Okay.
She's
So check out
pretty
Quebec. I know you say it like Quebec, right? You know.
Quebec Homestead.
Yeah, I think.
I'm sure it's hyphens somewhere.
What's that?
It's probably got that little squiggly thing above the Q.
No, it's Quebec.
Is it?
It's Quebec. Let's see. Okay, so Scott's saying they don't make Vipers anymore. Reese is saying the Viper was cut. Leonard, no Mustang. The last Falcon was rolled off the line in mid-year 1970. Yep. So I was close. I knew it was 70 or 71, but Leonard gets the bell for that. Have I ever seen? Yes, Leonard. I have seen the Cadillac version of the Corvette, and it's pretty cool.
90s, right?
What's that?
Is that the 90s or no?
Oh no, they have new versions.
Oh, the newer version.
Yeah, I mean, within the last 5 years, they've copied the Vet. I think it's in the last 5 years. I think.
Oh, yeah, I haven't kept up on the Cadillac.
It's a Cadillac version of the Corvette. It's pretty cool. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Yes, thank you, Quebec. Got to hit the thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Joseph, talking about Vipers, the Mustang Mach-E actually has the same 0 to 60 as Viper at 3.5 seconds. That's fast. I hope they do sell the Mach-E and find a way to incorporate that design in two-door Mustangs. No, okay. I mean, it's going to be fast. I agree. But I just don't like the name on. I don't like it. Not on SUV. Joseph, I don't think Ford can really keep competing with the LS motor platform without figuring out how to get more into hybrid electric gas cars. Yeah, there it is. See, I was right.
Quebec.
Yeah. See, and I was trying to remember because in military alphabet, and I'd have to go through it all in sequence to make my mind say it right. But the Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta Echo Foxtrot Golf Hotel India Juliet Kilo Lima Mike November Sierra Tango Uniform Victor Whiskey X-ray QX maybe X. I don't even know if I said it. What's that?
That's amazing. I couldn't say that.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, that's from 32 years ago.
What branch were you in, Barry?
I was in the Army.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I was in the infantry. That's what that flag is.
Oh, that's right, because you're
10th Mountain Division.
That's right.
Yep. But let me see. QRQ. P. LM. Mike November Oscar Papa. And I think the Q was actually Quebec. I remember we had to say it different. So it might have been the Quebec. Q Romeo Sierra Tango Uniform Victor Whiskey X-ray Yankee Zulu. Yeah. So the hard part's saying it all backwards. I can't do
God,
no. 777 Smitty. You know what? Let me give you a bell for that. I have to agree. The Chevy is the platform that you can do any small block Chevy from 50. Let's see, was it 53? Well, I know 55 for sure. You could just interchange everything and anything.
Yeah, the heads and stuff, right? You can flip.
You could use the heads, intake manifold. Everything was interchangeable. Water pump, fuel pump. The only thing different, like a water pump, you had a short one and a long one, depending on if you had a truck or something. All the tin work, everything you could swap out. And it's easily the easier platform to build from. But I think people would kill me if I stuck a Chevy small block in a Mustang.
You wouldn't be liked.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen people do it, and they don't like it. Okay, so Kevin is saying he thinks Gary is talking about the Malibu SS. I'm not sure. Yes, thank you for that, Max. Dave, if you enjoyed the Tucker movie, check out the book. It was based on the indomitable Tin Goose goes much more into depth of design and how he's railroaded by the big three. Yeah.
That makes
I should
sense.
get a bell for saying indomitable without even thinking about it.
Big word for me.
But yeah, that's a good reference. I have not seen that, but in the movie they depict what he's doing and how he's doing it, and I don't know how accurate it is. His interaction with Howard Hughes, who was quite the eccentric, and
Yes, he was.
supposedly he provided him with the engines or gave him a link to where he could get metal and stuff like that. But let's see, Max, I was there. It was a comparable Ford engine. I wish there was a comparable Ford engine to the LS engine that Chevy makes. Ford changes their engines all the time. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And you look at the design features, and even though I've dealt with an LS in trucks that I've had, the thing that I don't like about the LS, and I'm sure it's the same thing with anything these days, like the old Chevy small blocks, you could pull the valve covers, loosen up the rocker arms, pull the intake manifold, reach in, lift the push rod, pull out a lifter, put in a new lifter, put the push rod back in, drive on, put it all back together. The LS engines, not going to happen. You have to pull the heads off because the lifters are underneath the head, and it's a sistered set of rocker arm or lifters because they have rollers, and so they're tied together so that they can't twist. And to change those, you got to pull the heads off. And I'll tell you this: they say you can't, but I had a 2000 model Chevy truck that I replaced 2 sets of lifters on because they were tapping, and I replaced the cab. I did it in the cab. They said you can't do it
in the cab.
Yeah, I mean in the truck. I didn't pull the engine out.
Right.
So I did it in the engine bay. I took it apart, got it out, and put it back together. And people say, "Oh, you can't do that." I was like, "I'm not pulling the engine." Let's see. Yeah, Joseph Max, they do. It's the Coyote motor. Yeah, I mean, but even that, if you look at the size, the footprint between the two, Coyote is, I mean, feels like it's twice as wide than an LS engine, and it's got the overhead cam and all the timing chain stuff. It's really, I don't know. It's like to me, it feels like when I look at those engines, it doesn't matter if it's Ford or whoever, where they have the overhead cam set up, the double overhead cam set up on a V8, and they have this giant timing chain deal with rollers. It feels like a Rube Goldberg machine to me. It's got all this complexity to it. It's like, why is this so difficult? And if something fails, if a little guide fails, you could screw up everything. And I like more simple designs. It just makes more sense to me. Reese, Ford small blocks 289, 302, 321 are kind of like the LS because of the interchangeable parts. Yeah, to a point. I know there is some conflicts in certain areas, but to a point. Leonard, someone did put a 350 and a 66 Ford Shelby. I hope I spelled it right. I guess they have. I haven't seen it. Quebec. I need to get back to editing. Interesting talk. Have a great night. All right.
Bye, Mallory.
Speaking now, I'm glad you said that's she. Is that correct?
Yeah, Mallory. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting that she brought that up because, I don't know if you saw I talked about the deer stands on your video, and I'm having that on my other channel. And I don't know if you saw that video or not, but
I saw the one where you had the two next to the garage door. I guess you're building the feeders.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. But did you see the video is like an hour long?
No, I got to watch that still.
Okay. Well, as I've been, I say improving my videos and improving how I film things and how I edit and trying to find ways to make it interesting. One thing I'll point out, YouTube says if you want people to watch your videos and be interested, whatever your subject matter is, you need to have that appear rather quickly in your video. So what I used to do is I would just start off talking about whatever. Hey, welcome to the channel, blah, blah, blah. Here's what I'm doing today. And from what I've gathered from YouTube, they say, let's say the subject, like those deer feeders. Okay. Well, what I did, and I bring this up because at this point, I can't think of a better video that I've created to where the action and the music are almost perfect for the opening sequence in the first 40 seconds or whatever it is, because the music that I found and that I played, you just have to watch it. You just have to see it.
Well, I got to go to your workshop. I haven't been there yet, so I want to. Okay. I'll get over there and I'll subscribe. And I want to check out your videos on that.
Yeah, but that one, because what I did is I had my introduction title, and then I have me doing some measuring, and then it goes into a time lapse, very fast time lapse. And to me, I have not found a better version. I'm really excited about that. I've shown it to a bunch of people because I was like, I could not have made this any better as far as this opening sequence goes.
It's good when it feels good like that, when you're made some good content and it actually comes out like that.
Now that video probably won't get near the views of other things, but that's okay. I'm just putting content on the channel so that it
well, your content's very informational. A lot of your stuff is. So I mean, your views should, in my belief, you see stuff that has 1 million and 200 million views that you scratch your head. You're like, why? Where stuff that you talk about cars that tell you how to do things, you still get a lot of views, but not like 200 million, which is, I really don't know the algorithm, how that it's in my world. I wouldn't see that, I guess.
I can tell you that I think still to this day, my #1 video has nothing to do with cars. My #1 Joe Daddy's Garage video is me making sign holders for a friend of mine that are just using a metal bender, a scroll machine. And it was the first time I ever used it, the last time I've used it. And I built I copied 6 existing holders, or I made 6 duplicates of a sign type of holder. That's like the #1 video that I have on the whole channel. And I'm like, what? So
yeah, it doesn't make sense sometimes. Like, why would this be? And this is what my channel is. Why is it this? Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so Reese, imagine thinking about putting a Chevy motor in a Shelby. Yeah. Cody has been used since 2013, I believe. I love the Cody. It is my dream engine.
I don't know too much on that Coyote. I've been really in the closet on that one.
But guaranteed in 5 to 8 years, the Cody would be replaced with something that shares 0 parts with a Cody. That's the point. That's exactly what they'll do. They'll come up with a whole different version.
That's how they make their money.
Yeah. Steve. Looks like Steve is in the house. How you doing, Steve? Let me see if I've okay. I got Jorge wanting to get on the chat, so I'm going to send Jorge a link.
You want me to hop off?
You can hang on until he gets here.
Okay,
that's fine. And then we'll probably just switch out. Yes. Let's see. Let me back up a second. Okay. So Steve is here. Max, I'm a new school guy. I like variable valve timing and efficiency. Yeah, I agree. There's a place for it. I'm like Leonard. He says old school. Yeah, it's kind of like, here I am working on this 65 Impala, and I'm making a video on replacing the trunk seal. That's going to be the next video that comes out on the channel. As I'm making this video, I open the trunk, and I'm looking at what the owner has in the trunk, and I point out that he's got a box, plastic tin that's plastic box that's sitting there. It has the jack base, a jack handle. It has he's got a V belt, some simple hand tools, and some jumper cables. And he may even have points in there. I don't know. But I'm just saying, if he breaks down somewhere,
He's
He
all
can
good
get
to
out
go.
with a little flashlight, screwdriver, tap, 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 and he's right on the road again. That's what I like about it. So
These days we call AAA.
yeah, yeah. Jeff Perrine, the single overhead camera was the king of massive timing chains. Beast of an engine, though. Yeah, but I mean the timing chain deal, man. It's crazy. I just can't. It just boggles my mind to have that much interaction. Yeah, there you go. 777 Smitty, the new engines are great, but so complicated. The old stuff, getting gas and fire, it runs. Yes, I
It's
agree.
air, right? Chevy really got it with Vortec with the air. It's like anything. You need air. You got to breathe, right? So that's what
Yes.
they did with the motors. Is it's like a runner. If he's been smoking, he can't run worth the crap. Excuse my language. And same thing with the motors. You get as much air in and air out, you're gonna have a good motor.
Yeah. Leonard, if anyone's interested, you can build a Boss 302 with a Cleveland 4V with the intake adapter. Okay. That would be interesting.
My buddy had a Mercury Monterey with a 351 Cleveland in it. That was a boat of a car.
Yes. Yes, it was. Yeah. LD, I just saw a video where they took a 2015 Mustang and put a 67 body. They call it the Eleanor build. Yeah, that's on the B is for Build channel. The car was seized by the Gone in 60 Seconds franchise, stating Eleanor image is a copy.
Oh, kidding.
Really? I haven't heard about that. That sounds like they're trying to create some drama because people are building Eleanors all the time, and I'm not sure. That sounds like they're just trying to get viewers, creating some drama and saying hey, they're going to take my car. But I did see that on B is for Build. Not real. I mean, I hate to. They can do whatever they want. I didn't really like what they were doing, but that's their program. They can do what they want.
Windsor, 61 Windsor.
Let's see. Let me back up here.
FitTech.
So Max, I put FitTech EFI on my 351 Windsor. I will have to control my timing eventually. Cool. Michael Johnson's in the house. What's that?
Difference between I didn't know too much about the Fords. The 351 Cleveland and Windsor. What was the difference on them two?
Think small block, big block.
Okay. Gotcha.
So that's basically all you can do is think that way. Because they also had 351M, which is a variation of, and then they had the 400, and those were all in the Cleveland family.
Oh my God, that's too much.
And the Windsor would be like the small block stuff. So the 351, the 302, 289, that's the Windsor group.
Okay.
So think big block, small block.
Gotcha.
Seb is in the house. Good.
Howdy.
Jorge's on the horizon. So
Hey, he's doing the Mustang build, right?
what's that?
Jorge's doing the Mustang build?
Yeah, he's building the what do I want to call that? What do they call the scooter that floats on air in Star Wars? You know
Oh my God.
that they drove across the desert. You know, it's like a land speeder. It's like a land speeder.
Yes.
He's building a land speeder right now. So we'll get him on here in just a second. Let's see. All right, so I'm gonna sign you off if that's all right.
No, that's perfect. You gotta get some information on here.
Okay, I'm gonna bring Jorge on. So thank you for being here. We'll do it again sometime.
Barry, thank you very much. Appreciate you. And again, thanks for the service to the country.
Yes, thank you. We'll see you.
Bye.
All right, so we bring in Jorge.
Hey, hi Barry. Hey guys.
How's everybody doing? How you doing?
Good. Doing good, man. It was really good to take some time off and just work on the car and take my mind off and stuff. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Just to get a break. It was really good.
Yeah.
We got a lot done. So I sent you some pictures. I don't know if you got them. We got the floor lined up. I got a couple of questions for you.
When did you send the pictures?
About 5 minutes ago.
Oh, they have not come through yet.
Oh, okay.
So we'll have to. You have the "Can I come on?" post. email, but that's
Oh.
all I have. That's all I have right now. Brian, I agree, Leonard. I'll take a 69 Mach 1 over anything new. I'm right there with you. If you get two, send me one. Bob Shoemaker got to sell more parts. Yes, that's exactly right. Steve, what tire size are you not putting on Brooklyn Pony? I don't remember. I have one tire over there on the other side of the shop that's on the rim, and I think I showed it in that tire fitment video that I did, but I don't know the exact size off the top of my head. So go back and watch the video many times. Watch all the ads, and then order stuff from Amazon.
That works for me. That's what I do.
Awesome. That's awesome. Let me back up a little bit. I've got a bunch of people on the side that I'm trying to keep up with.
Get caught up. I'm gonna try to get those pictures out to you. Try to get caught up a little bit.
So Seb is saying, if you want to see an LS in a Ford, go see Sloppy Mechanics. It is the most reliable engine in this day and age Chevy power. Yeah, the LS, I can't argue with you. I've driven them 300,000 plus miles, and they keep on running. I'll give you a bell for that, Seb, by the way. See you, Smitty. Glad you were here. It's just me. 40,000 subscribers. Yes. Thank you. Joseph. No, they took his Eleanor because he was making money from the YouTube channel and calling it a Eleanor. Interesting. Interesting. So I have not kept up with that because I wasn't really a fan of the build. But I don't know how you trademark all that unless they did an exact clone. I don't know. Right? Big companies can really turn the screws on you. But I have not followed up with any of that. Matt, you mentioned music for your videos. Where do you find your music? Well, I have two sources that I currently use. The editing software that I have has built-in music that they update. So occasionally, like when I'm using Wondershare Filmora is the name of the program, and you buy it, but you pay one fee, and it's supposed to be for life. They try to get you to buy more options, so you get the program and it comes with a lot of stuff, but if you want more stuff, they want to charge you for it monthly. So I don't do any of that, but they occasionally add new music to it automatically that I don't have any, it just shows up basically when I update. The other thing is I use the YouTube, I don't know what it's called. It's over on the right-hand side, audio library. It's on the left-hand side, sorry. So if you were looking at the YouTube and it says underneath where it says dashboard, videos, playlists, analytics, all that stuff on the left-hand side, in the lower section, it says audio library. And you can click on that, and there are all kinds of genres of music, from blues to rock, and it even breaks that down to where it can be rock energy, rock subdued, different things like that. And there's certain guys, I like their style of music, and it's a free download. There's also, I say free download, you can put it on your videos and not be charged for it. And then there's some that you have to give a credit to the creator. You still won't be charged for it, but you have to put it in the description saying music by Billy Bob, whatever, and label it so that other people know. But I use that a lot. So Steve, he zoomed into the video and figured out the tire size. Look at that. Steve figured it out. Give Steve a bell.
Did he ever get his hat? Did Steve ever get his hat?
No, he never raised enough money for a hat, so he did not get one. Let's see. Leonard's talking about dry versus wet intake. Okay. Let's see. Max, I'm 23 and been around cars my entire life. I've worked in shops and built a foundation for this hobby. I love old school wood, and modernization seems worth it. Yeah, I agree. I like the modernization because it's like this Impala here. I go to start it up. I'm not going to start it up and drive down the road. I'm not going to turn the key and be gone. I'm going to pump the gas, crank it over. It'll sit and start. I put it in reverse. It shuts off. I put it in park, pump the gas, crank it up, and eventually it'll get warm enough that it'll cycle. I love the convenience of modern EFI systems and all that stuff. So don't get me wrong. There is a place for it. My little crappy Ford Focus that I drive, I know I can go out and hit the key. Boom, I'm on the road. Let's see. Joseph is asking, have you done anything recently to Jade? What do you consider recent? Because recent could be in the last month, which in that case I have done a lot to Jade. But I haven't done anything in the last couple of weeks. I've been doing other projects. I built those, as I was talking about earlier, the deer feeders for the other channel. I'm working on this Impala and taking care of some other things around the house and whatnot. So Jorge Harvey says, good to see you back.
Yeah.
Oh, Seb says Robbie's Mustang is a really awesome build. Thanks for sharing. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a cool video.
Well, you know, it's funny. I have to talk about this for a minute because I follow him on Instagram. And he follows me on Instagram. And he messaged me one day and he said he was looking for some help. And this is maybe early this year. I don't remember exactly. He was looking for some help. He was trying to mount his vintage air heater box to his firewall, but he didn't. There was something wrong with the holes, like some had been filled or something was wrong. So he was like, I can't just put it up there without knowing where it's supposed to line up and go. So we actually communicated on Instagram, and I said, well, I have my 68 sitting in the back. There's no heater box in it. If you want, I can either send you some pictures, or what I ended up doing, I took paper and I taped it on the inside, on the engine bay. I taped it on the firewall. I took spray paint and sprayed the inside of the firewall, so I had a pattern blow onto a template, and then I mailed it to him.
Cool.
So, but the thing is, he sent me the video links, and I never connected that Robbie was Call of George. Even though I saw the car and I saw the videos, I never saw him. I never actually, like connected the face
with the name and then
yeah. And I was like, Robbie, I don't know who this Robbie is. And then once he commented on the video, I was like, oh, it's that guy, So anyway, yeah, that's a cool car. I'm looking forward to that coming together. That's gonna be really cool.
Yeah, it's coming out nice. There's a really good story behind it too. It's nice that he's sticking with it and trying to get it back on the road. It takes a lot. It takes a lot to, because I'm kind of going through that, and it takes a lot to keep going after, to keep.
Yes. Even for me.
Yeah.
Leonard saying he wants to send a video of his Torino, but I'll have Wayland's. I've always been crazy. I don't know what Wayland's is, Leonard. Oh, so he's talking about the difference between the Windsor versus the Cleveland. Okay.
Oh, Windsor and Cleveland, yeah. Not a whole lot, really.
Well, okay. I mean, I was trying to explain it to David. It's like between a small block and a big block kind of mindset. LD, my bone stock 289 with original Autolite 2-barrel car with points, starts up without touching the gas and runs better than my 2015. That's cool.
That's good.
That's good. Sure. Well, I can tell you this Impala probably hasn't been touched other than changing a fuel filter or something like that since 65. I know I put like valve cover gaskets on it and stuff like that, but I'm sure it's not been messed with.
Yeah, that's the thing. If they're original and they're pretty close and they've been running, they keep on running. It's when they sit and people start messing around with them and they change everything. It's just, it's hard to, when those cars really start wearing out too, they're just really hard to keep them idle because of, they just wear out. You always get all those air leaks.
Okay, so Steve, you're saying Waylon Smithers? No, I'm really lost. Is that in reference to Leonard's Waylon comment? I don't know.
Sounds like a rock band.
I don't know. Okay, so let me see. Well, I got an email from you, but I don't see any attachments. I don't see anything in it.
You did get an email for me, but no picture?
It says test.
That was the first one. Oh, this thing's just running really slow.
Yeah, you need to put another quarter or two in your computer. Pay for that internet.
I've got Cat 5. Wait a minute. Did you ever run that wire?
Speaking of which, this showed up.
Oh, cool.
So it's actually 500 feet. But I was talking to Robert earlier about it, and you talk about direct bury line. He said put conduit in, and if you have to change it, then you have a place to run. So,
well, if you got it, I would say just run 2 lines. Just in case something does happen, it's already run and you got a spare. And what are you gonna do with it anyway? It's just gonna be sitting around, So,
well, like you were saying about setting it up to like for cameras or
future
stuff.
use.
So you can't use if I were to use one line from my router to the shop and then connect to my computer, I would have to unplug that and connect to cameras to be able to monitor from in the house. Is that how that? I would have to swap the line.
Well, you can go. You can get really technical. You can go with a splitter, or it's like another mini. Just think of it as like another mini router, like somewhere else, like in your shop, and from there you can branch off. So it would go into there and it would spread out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that, but the problem is how much data you're putting back and forth, and if you like for what you're doing for the streaming and all that stuff, I would think you'd really want a nice dedicated line just for that.
Okay.
And then if you wanted cameras and that kind of stuff, you'd want a dedicated line for that. But if you're gonna go through the trouble of running it and putting it in and all, you just put another line, or do yourself a favor and add a piece of string as you're doing it, so that if you do have to pull something through, it's real easy to do that. It's already set.
That's true. Yeah.
Just do that.
So Joseph was saying I need a switch.
Yeah, that's what I mean. A switch. Which is just looks kind of like your router. All it is that one line will come into it, and then depending how many ports there are on the switch, that's how many can go out. So you can have one line, you can have like another 5 computers hooked up to it.
Okay, because this all, like I said before, this all confuses me.
It takes. You'll get. It's for you. It's easy to figure out.
I have I have a port on my router in the house that I can plug into, but what I get confused by is if I want to add another line, do I have to split it off that router then, and have the 2 lines, or do I run? See, that's where I get confused because I'm going to have one. Because basically, I'm going to have one of these in the wall of my house.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to come out of the router into this.
Okay.
Out of this to the shop.
Okay.
Now, you're talking about running 2 lines, and I know Joseph was saying that too. Where do I put the second line? Do I have to get one of these with 2 of these?
Just leave it in the box for now until you're gonna need it as a spare.
Okay, so just leave it in the wall.
Yes, leave it in the wall as a spare, and if it's for future use, or say something happens, or
So then I bring the line out to the shop. I come into the building, come into the backside of another one of these,
right?
Mount it to the wall. Then I plug in from here. I can come out and connect to the computer, but if I have a switch, I can connect to other things.
Right.
Like whatever.
Yeah, you can have like 2 computers, like
okay.
Like right now, I've got 3 computers running right now.
Okay.
So I got this laptop, the main computer, and then my other notebook. So I've got like
Okay.
3 things running right now. So like there's 3 lines coming in here, and then some Wi-Fi stuff.
Okay.
So you know, like for what you're doing, you're better off with a nice wire connection because you'll get less interruption. You can get more bandwidth through it.
Sure. I understand that. That much I understand. Hardline, I
Yeah.
understand.
No, the only reason I'm saying is run another line while you're doing it, because if you're going to go through all that trouble and something happens, or if you're doing, it's already done. It's not that
Right.
big of a deal because you already,
That makes sense because
you already have it.
I mean, and I'll do that. I'll probably run like, I don't know, whatever size conduit. I mean, it's the gray in-ground conduit stuff. I guess is what it is.
Yeah, like an inch probably all you need for that.
Well, we'll see. I'll figure that out when I get to that point because I'm just going to put it like right next to my driveway and then connect to the house. I have like a breezeway on the back, like a little porch, open breezeway type area, and I've got posts, 4x4 posts that run up to support the roof. So I'll probably just come up and then go up that post and then go into the house that direction. So
yeah, that's fine.
Well, I'll check your email just a second. Let me get with Max here. Is asking a question. Do you have certain parameters for having a car featured in your subscriber cars segment, my viewers projects? No, there's no parameters. You send me the video and $100 and no.
And it has to be a real car. It can't be
a kayak.
A kayak with a motor on it.
Right. No, I don't care what it is. It could be a car, it could be a truck, it could be Ford, Chevy. I don't care. I mean, everything's been Ford to this point. I know Stein was talking about doing one on his BMW, but it doesn't matter to me. If it's a car that you're working on or building and you've done the work to it, whatever, I'm happy to show it. I think other people are happy to see it.
Yeah,
it encourages everybody to get involved. So
this is really more about learning how to do this stuff and how to restore stuff, and it's more of a learning process. It's not really just a Mustang channel because
because I work on anything. I just happen to have a lot of Mustangs.
which works out good for some of us.
Yeah,
that's true. Through it,
Let's see. Okay, so Leonard is saying we just went. Oh, he's on curfew, so he's got to go in the house now. Leonard's pretty rambunctious. He's going to go out and do some shopping. Joseph put conduit, run 2 lines. Yes, I will do that. And then he says, you just run the security camera off the switch. Okay.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
I'm learning. So I still have to buy a switch then at some point.
Well, if you come up to Jersey, I'll give you a couple. I have a bunch of extra ones up here.
Well, I'm planning on coming up to see Jack. So
when are you coming up?
It might be next week. Well, yeah, it can't be. I don't think it'll be this week, or maybe we're working on a date. He told me he's off next week. So I may just have to do a around New Jersey excursion, Well,
yeah, the shop is the nice thing is the shop's in Morris County. So it's like where I live, you don't really want to come up here because of all the Corona stuff. But in Morris County, it's pretty good. It's more urban kind of.
Yeah.
It's less traffic. It's quieter.
That's okay.
So it's easy to get to. It's right off of Route 80.
Okay.
So it's actually cake.
LD, secret to keeping a classic car running perfect and modern like is actually driving them at least weekly. Yes.
Yes.
Yep. Got to be doing that stuff.
That's the big deal. Yeah. Anything too.
Yeah. Well, I have a 2007 Suburban that I can't justify selling it. It's paid for. If I want to take a road trip and tow a car or something to California, I could load it up on the trailer and drive that thing and be comfortable. So I can't justify selling it. But if I let it sit, it'll start leaking transmission fluid in about 3 weeks to a month. It'll seep out the back and drop off in front of the drive shaft. But if I keep it running every couple weeks, it has no problems.
Yeah. And it was funny too because I used to manage airplanes, single engine.
Yeah.
So man, they really go they get really bad if you don't use them and operate them. I mean, it's amazing how if you just kept running them all the time, they would just run great. But if you let them sit, oh man, all kinds of weird stuff would happen. So it's just a mechanical thing.
Well, another thing in that respect, for the job, my job that I have, I operate huge vacuum furnaces, and there's 3 stages to vacuum. And so you start off with what's called a roughing pump, and then you move on to 2 secondary vacuum pumps, and then there's it's a complex system. If you shut these things off, you have a hard time starting them back up because it's just the way they're built. You're constantly, you keep up with the oil and that sort of thing that keeps everything moving around. But if you shut them down, it's like sometimes you can't get them to restart. And it's better off to just let them sit there and idle. Even if you're not running parts, just let them idle, and you're further ahead.
Hey, speaking of oil, I've got to change the oil in my compressor. There's at the break-in point. Have you had any experience with synthetic oil versus regular oil? And I know that like synthetic stuff does bother the paint jobs.
Well, are you talking about for longevity?
Air compressor?
Well, I have not tried it in an air compressor. What they say is, and from what I've read and understand, synthetic oil has like twice the lifespan of standard oil based, but whether it's worth it in a compressor, I don't know. You're only talking a couple dollars difference. You'd have to research and find out if it's recommended for the compressor. They seem to be recommending them. They do run a little bit smoother with it, and they do have a better heat range with it. I mean, synthetic is the better way to go. The other thing I was wondering about is when you go, when you spray paint, I know like sometimes a silicone or certain oils will definitely affect that kind of. I don't think the oil that's in the compressor, well, it shouldn't interact with your air. It shouldn't, but I can't say for sure on that. I got to write this down. I need an 8-port switch. So I'm going to go to Amazon and order a switch.
I'm serious. I have them up here. I'll give them to you.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe next week.
A 4 and an 8. I think I got.
Well, maybe next week we can work that out. Let's see. Leonard saying, Bob, keep a lookout for a 400 block with small block bolt pattern out there and are worth a lot. Okay. So I'll take your word for it. Leonard's going to bed. He's on curfew, so he's staying out of trouble. Steve, back when I was in the U.S. Air Force, you were in the Air Force? Worked on C5s when the wintertime rolled. I'm sorry. Let me post that up on the screen. Back when I was in the Air Force, I worked on C5s. When the winter time rolled around, all the hydro seals would sure enough start to fail. November on was hell. Yeah. I believe that. Steve is saying, before you order the switch, let me make an Amazon link. Okay. We can do that. Let me see. Yeah, your email still has not come through. Wait a minute. Let me look.
We'll do it the old-fashioned way.
I don't get it. I don't know what's going on.
It could be on my end. Well, it could be on my end too.
It could be. Maybe if I had my Cat 5 cable run, I'd be done. I'd have it right here. It would come in like a bullet.
It definitely is a lot faster.
I want to also. Well, go ahead. You got something you want to post up? But I want to give a shout out to Elon Musk, NASA.
Oh yeah.
Space program. Let me tell you, that was amazing. If you didn't see the videos that are going on with all that, the Dragon launch and Falcon, all the stuff that they have, amazing. And you look at that stuff compared to, what they were using, and we are definitely way advanced in our technologies of what they can do and are doing. So just amazing. I'm glad I was able to see that live on YouTube, and all the stuff they're doing from that point on. But
the military, the stuff that we don't even know about is, just some of the stuff that leaks out is amazing. The stuff that we don't even know about is just incredible.
Yeah.
I think but the biggest problem with the space travel is the cost.
Sure, always.
And I don't know if their method, how NASA used to do it, which they get 3 contractors and they take the lowest bidder. I don't know if that was the wise thing to do, but that's just how they did it. But I think the technology that we have out there, it's just incredible.
Well, when you watch the whole launch process, and then the I guess the rockets themselves are called the Falcon or something, and they come back to Earth and land on the barges out in the ocean. That's unheard of. That's just
that's been around for about 30 years. That technology.
Well,
it just hasn't gone to Main Street or been developed as it is now.
To that scale, yes, smaller scale, they're probably doing that sort of thing, but they're pulling it off now, where it's like, there it is. Okay, great.
Yeah, and you can tell like the spacesuits were really. You can really tell that it's more of the private sector. Like their spacesuits were really cool looking. The touch screens were. It's like,
big cumbersome. They actually look kind of cool.
And they're like they rolled off a movie set, and then Elon Musk was actually talking about it. It's like, we had a movie designer design them, and then they just made them work. I was like, it's definitely cool.
Well, I watched I followed another Instagram, Jay Leno's Garage. I follow him on Instagram, and he did an interview with Elon Musk for his his Instagram, and I guess he has his Jay Leno's Garage, and it was pretty cool to see him talk about the electric cars, the boring machine or boring company that he has, all this technology that, and I don't think Elon Musk is necessarily the smartest guy out there, because they made a lot of dumb statements, over the years, but I don't know if you probably know his origins, right?
Yeah.
So he, PayPal and all that stuff.
Yeah, he started PayPal. Yeah. Well, I watched the whole documentary on him, and it was pretty good. He's more like Thomas Edison was. He's more like that way. You know what I mean? He's more like
he has a vision.
Gets an idea. He gets talent, puts the talent together, develops it.
Right. That's what I see from him is he sees something, he sees a goal, and he's like, I don't know how to get there, but I can get these guys, throw money at them, and they'll make it happen.
Right. And that's a good formula. A lot of successful guys are like that. Like Edison, Henry Ford was like that. He would hire a lot of engineer. His saying was like, "Oh, if I can't do it, I'll hire genius." That was his thing. So he's you got to give him a lot of credit for that. And he's like him, and I put him and Stephen Jobs on the same kind of plane, or just visionaries. They actually see it. They get the right guys to do it and make it happen.
Oh, here we go. Give Elon another bell for telling California to stuff it.
Yeah, that's another cool thing too, man. Yeah.
Yeah. As crazy as, and that was a great Cybertruck. Yeah, that Cybertruck's going to be interesting. But I'll give you a bell for that, Seb. But Elon Musk, he has those moments where he just says dumb things. Like he posted something on Twitter or something, and all of a sudden his stock dropped, and he lost like $500 million or something.
Yeah, what was he on, like some kind of show or something? And he tried pot, marijuana, and his stock just rocketed down like.
Whoa! Wait a minute. Yeah. So he's got it's great. He's extremely wealthy and thinks ahead, and but he needs to think about what he says sometimes, because the money that he's making is keeping everything else rotating. It's just one of those things. Let's see. Joseph is saying we might get a Cybertruck factory in Oklahoma. Yep.
Cool.
That would be cool.
I'm glad he's building this stuff here too. I mean, that's a big deal. That,
Yes.
That's huge. Because he doesn't have to.
Right.
So I'm
Well,
really glad.
It's like, did you see the thing he did in I think it was Australia? He was Australia was looking for some sort of a backup power system, like a huge energy power system or whatever. And Elon Musk, he says, I can do it. And he gave him a number. I forget what the cost was, like $100 million or something like that. And they're like, well, how soon can you do it? And he said, I'll have it done. It was like, if I remember right, it was like 30 days. He said, I'll have it built and ready and running in 30 days. And Australia's like, really? He says, if I don't, it's free.
Wow.
The whole thing is free. And they were like, oh, here you go. Go, buddy. Boom. He had that thing up and running. It's like a huge power cell. I don't remember the parameters of it, but it was like this massive, like a football field sized concrete structure with all these battery cells and whatever. It was amazing. But he was like, yep, it's all up and running. Pay me. And they did.
Wow.
So,
all right, let me see if I can
check it out. What were we saying?
Let me see if I can show you this picture.
Okay.
I'll have to do it this way. So we've got the floor in.
All right.
Okay.
Yep.
So then I'm doing what you said. What's that?
Is it a one-piece floor?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a one-piece floor, and then so we got it really, really close.
Wait a minute.
And
You're talking about the full floor pan.
It's a
Dining
full
floor, full floor. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Okay.
So we got that in there, and we went through the doors. I've got like seven doors we went through. So we found two. We're going to go with two of the Dynacore doors. They're real Dynacore doors. Still brand new in the box. So we're going to go with them. They were like the best fit shape. And the measurements were really close. The curves were really close. Everything looks pretty good to the factory. And then when I was going through the original door on that car, the passenger side looked like the door was bent. So apparently, I think that maybe they caught the door on something and they got pried back. Like,
Okay.
So, and then, which kind of makes sense because when I was cutting the rockers out, the pillar went like it wanted to move from its position. I'm like, what the hell's causing that? So I wasn't sure. But now I'm thinking that pillar could be bent from a previous accident. Right.
Awesome.
So what I did was too, and the hinges were just beat. So I took their hinges off the red car. They look pretty much the same, and they were pretty straight. There wasn't a problem. So I figured we'd go with those. I sandblasted them and we put those on a car, and then we're going to put the door on it.
Right.
So now the thing is, like, what should I watch out for when I go to hang the door on that side where the pillar might be bent? Or should I try to bend the pillar back to its original shape? Because you can actually twist it and weld it on there.
Yes.
Or
what you need to do, but the red car is intact, right?
Yeah.
That's your reference. That's your reference point.
Yeah,
so,
that the door openings are okay. That hasn't been destroyed. So
yes. So sit there and measure. Find cross measuring points you can trust, and try to index where that B pillar will sit.
Okay.
And maybe just tack weld it in. Just tack weld it. Okay. Fit your doors. Because like if you looked at like when I did, the Brooklyn Pony, I built from the back of the car forward. So I positioned the quarters. Well, I positioned the wheelhouses first, the quarters, and all that structure that I could to get everything where it needed to be. And by doing that indexed the quarters in and out because I could reuse the tail panel and the trunk lid to make sure that it was square in essence.
Right.
And then from there I could take the door. Well, if the B pillar is off, that would be your time to take the quarter on and off and see where that overlap is, where the flange comes in on the quarter. And that way you might, if you have to shift it around or something, because you put the quarter up, check the body lines, close it, set up the door, and see how that looks.
Right.
So it's a combination of things, test fitting and measurements. But I would, like you're saying, if it's sprung and wants to move, I might be moving to the right place. I don't know.
I was thinking about maybe putting the old hinge on it and then just prying it back, like looking where the bend came from, and then just trying to twist it back to where it belongs.
You're talking about the B pillar, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's because once it let go, when I had those crossbars attached, so to keep everything in place.
Yes.
And then when I cut the rocker panel, it just moved. It went like that. Once I took all the spot welds off the rocker panel and dropped it, that B pillar just went like that. It moved, and it was wild. So what I ended up doing was I cut the cross member, the support beam that I put in there to hold it in place. I cut it, and I just pried it, and I twisted it back in shape, and then I was able to tack it back in place. And it, so, which was kind of weird. I was like, I couldn't figure out why it was like that. I thought maybe that was from the factory, or it shouldn't be, right? No, so that makes sense. So that's probably what happened, because if that door, that was a pretty good bend inside that door hinge, where where you bolt up the inside the door. So I'm thinking that's probably what happened to that.
It's very possible, and it's hard to say what life that car has had.
Right.
Those things get knocked around, and
50 years old. It's
yeah.
And then it's the quarters. It's stuff happens to those. They just were not designed to last this long. And
No,
it's just
not at all.
But the funny thing is, every time you get these things, it's amazing how much stuff you just keep finding and finding and finding. They just keep burying stuff on top of stuff. Just
on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
Well, tonight, just to give you a heads up, I'm going to end this broadcast in 2.5 minutes.
Okay.
I've got some stuff I have to take care of in the house and get ready for tomorrow. But anyway, as I was saying before, I've hit the 40,000 mark, and I plan to keep it going. You got another picture?
Yep. I want to show you one other quick thing too. So, okay, can you kind of see the silver part on the bottom? That's the actual floor.
I see the tail panel, and I see a line. Yeah, I see the floor sticking out under. It just faded off. It just went to dark. Okay. Let me close my window for a second. I'm just gonna let you have the whole screen. So go ahead.
Okay. So basically, the floor lines up pretty good, but the problem is if I jack it up where the back meets the floor, then it's off in the center, the center pillar, and vice versa. So if I can explain this. So, the floor lines up. I pretty much lined up. If you look at the back pillar, the door pillar, there's these little triangle pieces. That looks like that's where the floor butts up to. Like these little triangle pieces. It kind of goes up like up to there.
Okay.
Right. So the thing is that if I match it to the back of the floor, the back all the way through the back bumper section, I weld that up. Then actually it goes past it, and then now the whole inner rocker is up too high. And then if I lower it down and I put it where it belongs, then it's off a little bit in the back.
It's really. I wish I had an easy way to say do this, do that.
You have to look at it, really, probably, right?
Maybe I'll look at it next week. I've talked about it before. Without knowing the history, what the car, what it's been
Yeah,
through,
yeah.
I look at it like the advantage of the Brooklyn Pony is I started from zero. I started from the floor pan and worked my way up. Okay. So whenever you're trying to incorporate other pieces, sometimes I'm going to say things just don't line up. I talked about it, I think last week. A guy sent me some pictures from a 68 fastback that he was building.
Right. Yeah.
Where everything was off, in the back. He updated me. He did what I told him to do. He cut that quarter and he extended it like a quarter of an inch. Boom. Everything lined up. Okay. So what I'm getting at is what I would try to do more so than worry about the reveal at the bottom or anything like that is measure points and figure out if I have the floor pan here, and the body is sitting on it, but it doesn't, jive what's going on. Even if I get the body lined up with the floor pan, right? And I can do some drop measurements to figure out if the floor pan is, cattywampus against the,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Then I try to zero out whatever is off and worry about the outer sections later. I want that inner structure with the inner setup of the body lined up, rocker panels, B-pillars, and then whatever inner structure you have, because the quarters could be, like you're saying, a quarter could be off a little bit. The tail panel could be off a little bit. I'd rather start with something that I know is dead on than try to match to something that could be off.
Right.
If that makes sense. So
that makes sense. Yeah. And these things were, when they were built too, when they were new, they weren't that exact either, right?
No, they weren't great. No,
they were. And what's the tolerances? Like a half inch? I mean, a quarter inch tolerances, I guess, plus or minus. Or either minus. That's what it seems like.
Depends on what part of the car you're on. And what day of the week it is. It's.
If it's a Friday car, it's definitely higher tolerances.
Yeah. So I can't point to a number and say it should be 3/16 or each one is different. It's like they're all the same, but they're all different. That's what it comes down to. So
yeah, just like your spot welds, you were.
Yeah.
Probably the one side's completely different.
On one side and 12 on the other. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I have realtor checking in, and I've already gone past my time that I was going to cut off. But I'm gonna call it a night. I've got, like I said, other things to do, and maybe I don't know what your schedule is for next week, but if I can get up there, see Jack, and figure out a way to get around.
No, I'll take the day. Yeah, I can take the day off. Just let me. I just need to know. I got to put it in.
Well, I'll coordinate with Jack and see what he says, and also Dave, I think, is also in the same area, and somebody with some cougar stuff. So cool. It might be several people that I have to also look at my flight schedule, because I don't plan on spending a day there like an overnight. I just want to get up, fly up, do stuff, fly back. So,
well, what airport are you flying into?
I don't know. I don't know what the name of it is. I don't know what the airports they have.
Well, if it's Newark Airport is probably Newark is probably your best bet.
Okay.
Don't fly into JFK. Whatever you do, don't go into JFK. Stay the hell away from there.
Yeah.
So you're probably going to be either Newark or LaGuardia. Newark's probably your better bet. I don't know. It varies, I guess. But either way, I'm about 45 minutes from the airport.
Okay. Well, we'll work it out. We'll figure out what we can do. But I'm going to go ahead and sign you off. I'm glad you checked in. I wish I don't know what's happened with the email that they're not coming through, but
yeah, I'll try to send it out again. I got some stuff going on. I got to fix some stuff.
Okay.
All
right. So I'm sorry, Realtor. We're signing off, but glad you were here. We'll see you, Bob. See you, Scott. See you, Seb. And I'm going to sign you off, Jorge. So
yep. Bye, guys. Right there.
We'll see you. And that's going to be it. So I want to thank everybody for being here. You know, whether you were here for the whole 2.5 hours or if you just stopped in for a few minutes, thanks for being here. 40,000 is pretty awesome. I'm going to put together a giveaway video probably hopefully by the end of this week, hopefully. And we'll go from there, and I'll give away that. I'll have some items to give away. But again, thank you all for being here and being part of this. Thank you, Reese. And like I said, I don't plan to do a midweek live stream. All right, thank you, Dave. So I don't plan to do like a Wednesday or Thursday. I don't think it's going to happen. If I do want to, it might be on Friday, and I'll do like the 3 o'clock thing. But I'll try to give a heads up and try to do a better job of getting the live stream connected properly. I don't know. I screwed that up somehow. So anyway, thanks for being here. And wait a minute. Let me see if I can play some leave music, right? See if I can do this. We'll see y'all, at least, if nothing else, Monday next week. So there we go. See ya.